Alright everybody, how are we doing? This is obviously my first video on this channel, but I'm pretty much just going to go through a Pittsburgh Penguins rebuild. Obviously, because as all NHL fans know, the Pens are obviously at the end of, as you can see, Crosby, Malkin, and Erik Karlsson's careers, and obviously Crystal Tang's not on that list right now, but they're not exactly on the young end of their careers, so we're going to do a Pittsburgh Penguins rebuild. Obviously, not going to touch anything here on the division realignment. Go into career. There's a bunch of rules that I already have set here. Pretty much just owner mode, no GM firing, and everything else stays the same here, except for I hate this feature, but I understand why it's there. The head coach edit lines. It's great, but it's just not useful to me. Go into settings, quick settings. I already have a preset set up here, so pretty much it's just going to be 5-minute period length, but realistically the only time that I'm going to be able to jump in is elimination games in the playoffs. I'm going to be playing on Superstar, trade difficulty on hard, Fog of War is going to be on. I'm not going to be able to see any of these except for player type. That's the only thing that I'm going to be able to see going into drafts, going into anything else. Like, I'm going to have to figure out everything about a player. Advanced settings, all we're going to do here is go change minor injury to fully healed. Sim engine scoring is going to be on medium, draft class quality on low, generated prospect quality on low, and high shot frequency. I feel like this makes it the most realistic whenever it comes to like regular NHL or like real life NHL, and then everything else there is going to be the same. Gameplay sliders, all these other ones are going to be the same. You don't have to touch anything, but the only one that we're going to change is in general. It's going to be on attribute effects on 10, so that we don't have the situation where 65 overall plays just as well as an 85 overall. If you're good, you're good. If you're bad, you're bad. Fatigue effects on 40, all that's going to be the same. And injury occurrence, we're going to bump down to 9. Because if it's any higher than 10, you just have a player injured every 30 seconds. And I understand injuries happen, and there's a bunch of things that go on in regular NHL lifestyles, and there's a ton of injuries that happen, but just not every single game it happens. Alright. Going into the season, actually, this is another one of the rules. We're not allowed to have any amateur scouts. Adds another level of difficulty that I found. It's a great thing to make it more difficult on yourself, just because you don't know who you're drafting unless if you know the player. I can have as many pro scouts as I want. Truthfully, throughout the season you end up playing enough teams where you start figuring out who's who and where. Coaching, can do whatever I want. Trades. This is a big one. Trades. I am only going to be able to move contracts that are at the upcoming draft 2 years. So hypothetically, we're going into the next draft. I can trade Chari, Villiers, or Beliveau, all of these 2-year contracts. At this upcoming draft, I'm going to be able to move, but not any sooner than that. And then during the season, I'm going to be able to non-extended. So like, I can't trade Crosby here. Not saying I'm going to, but I can't trade Crosby. But they have to have 1-year contracts. Those are going to be able to be tradable contracts. So I can't just be like, okay, well, I don't want Tristan Jarry's been bad this season. I want to trade Jarry. I have to keep the 4 at Jarry for at least 2 of them going into the upcoming draft. Adds, again, another level of difficulty. And obviously, as you can guess, the only thing is about this. Oh, and then those players, they have to want to move, or they have to match the other team's block. So I can't just go, okay, well, I want to move Evgeny Malkin to, let's say, in this case, Anaheim. Anaheim could only get Gregority, Rust, Raquel, Novak, but again, based off the rules, I'm only going to be able to trade Dewar, Graham, Nieto, etc. Those kind of players with only 1 year, no extension contracts. Draft pick wise, I can trade whatever as long as they want it, except first round picks. I can trade whatever first round picks I want. So hypothetically, comes down to it, I can trade this 2030 first from here for whatever I want. Every team wants a first round pick in this world. But regardless, finishing up with the rules part of it. Here we go. Let's see what we got here. I mean, obviously, we know what's here. It's not exactly the greatest, so I already have an idea of what I want to do. I normally do a 3 goalie rotation, so I'm gonna call up Blomqvist, and Tristan Jarry is going to be our 3rd goalie. Just sit in the press box the entire year. Defense-wise, obviously Chris Tang and Carlson have to be in the pros. Not saying I wasn't going to have them in the pros, but they have to. Graves, unfortunately, has to be in the pros, but we're going to put him in the press box. He's going to be our 13th forward, so with that being, Vladislav Kolyachanok is going to be our number 6 defenseman, playing alongside there. Okay. We're going to call it Bemstrom and Lafreniere. All these young guys are going to get their chance for us. They're going to get an opportunity to play. Chari, stay. Kevin Hayes. Does he have like 2 years so we can trade him at the draft? Maybe. Hold up. Actually, I stand corrected. We're going to send the young guys down. What we're going to do. Young guys are going to go down and dominate in Wilkes-Barre. They're going to go dominate in Wilkes-Barre. And all the older guys are going to come up for just this season. Just to get through this year. Because I don't think we're going to be any good. So it's going to be smarter to get development from those young guys. Like, big piece to this puzzle is going to be Ville Koivunen, Puustinen maybe even. Yeah, we just have, there's a lot of pieces to this puzzle, and I will not, because he is no longer in Pittsburgh. Right? I think he's gone, but regardless, not going to be able to play Philip Hollander at all. Gonna have to let him walk at the end of the season. And yeah, oh, his best line's that. Yeah, here we go. Set up the lines. Huntington, not in the lineup. Junior Kapanen. Actually, we're gonna have Junior. Some minutes. Like Lazat's gonna be a big piece to this puzzle. Okay. Chari. He's gonna play 3rd line. Brian Russ. Grizzlick. I hate what's on this team, I'm not gonna lie to you. Not that I don't like Grizzlick as a person, I just don't think he's a good fit on this team. So he's gonna be a big piece that we're gonna try and move. But for the time being, that's gonna be what our defense looks like for this season. That's what our offense is gonna look like. Yeah. Truthfully, we're not even gonna touch it because I'm not trying to win this season. Actually, based off of that, based off of our game plan, just getting the young guys rolling in the minors, we're going to call up Mirashaw? No, it's Larson. We're gonna call Phil Larson, and yeah, there we go. That's what we're looking at for the team in year 1. try and get as much out of this team as we can. It's not going to be much, but we're going to try. Miners, they're looking real good, especially with this top line. D-War is going to be a big piece that we're going to try and develop based off having Novak and Tomasino up here. Defense, there's big problem from this team that everybody obviously notices because the Pens have had so much success over the long stretch. They have nothing in the system. They have some, they don't have a ton. So this past season, picking up guys like, Philip Tomasino, where is he at? Tommy Novak's gonna be a big piece. Stillman's gonna be a huge piece. D-War is gonna be a big piece. Fernstrom's gonna be a big piece. There's a lot of good pieces that we have to this puzzle. But this team next year, or come this draft, or come this upcoming re-sign phase, is gonna look very, very different than it was, or than it will. But yeah. So like I said, year one is gonna be kind of boring, so it's not gonna be a great, entertaining season to watch. Like, I'm truthfully not even gonna bother talking to him. This first season's gonna be pretty much just a sim year, so it's gonna be a very skippable part of this video. Yeah, I can't lie to you, this is gonna be a very boring season. Just get some free morale over there. Like, we're gonna be making some moves. Obviously, like I said, I want to get rid of Matt Grzelcyk, just because unless we're gonna re-sign him, I'm not. But unless we're gonna re-sign him, there's gonna be no reason to have a medium top four or exact top four defenseman that's an 84 overall, getting paid on that good of a contract. And he's worth probably a mid-second round pick right now. And I'm not just gonna use Fine Trade, because that's a pretty easy way to get good pieces like that. So what we're gonna do here is gonna go Matt Grzelcyk. See what he's one of those players that I want to get out of conference too. I don't want to send him to Carolina. I don't want him in our division, even though Carolina's got a lot of pieces that would help this puzzle. Like a guy that I'm interested in going after. Now, fair warning, this is not gonna be realistic at all. This rebuild is going to be anything but realistic. Felix Unger-Sorum is a big piece to this puzzle that I'm seeing. That would be a great fit on this team. Because right now, looking at our center core, well, yes, we got Tommy Novak, we got Rutger McGroarty, we got Phil Tomasino, we got Blake Lizotte. We still have Sid Crosby. Like, Sid Crosby's going to be here until he retires. Evgeny Malkin, I can push him to the wing. That is the most ideal of scenarios, in my opinion. Kevin Hayes, we're going to be looking to trade at the deadline, or at the draft. Rutger, if he can play on Sid's wing, that is beautiful. Yeah, there's a lot of centers on this group that I'm not complaining about. There's no youth on the wings, except for Poland, which Poland, if he develops, will be worthwhile, but I don't know if I trust it, just because he's already 23. Matt Nieto, not part of this puzzle. Koivunen, like I said earlier, big piece. These top 9 potential players that we have that are pretty young are going to be massive, just because they're going to be playing with guys, let's say, Billy Koivunen. There's a large possibility that I play him next year on Sid Crosby's wing, or Sid Crosby and Ricard Raquel's wing. There's a huge piece. There's a huge chance that happens. And our second line, I wouldn't be shocked next year if it turns out to be Blake Lizotte, Rutger McGroarty, Brian Rust. Would not be shocked if that happened. and then top, really good third line that I would want, that I'm trying to try and push to get, is at the left. I mean, Heinen's going to be a piece that we're going to try and move just because it's a really good contract for him. But back on track, we're going to try and go Poland, Novak, Tomasino. These are the future plans. And then fourth line, I'm going to try and go, if you couldn't tell, I always map out the future plans. We're going to go Puustinen, where is he at? Braz, or Dewar with Bemstrom on the fourth line. Defense is going to be a weird one, not going to lie to you. But regardless, moving on. Back to what we were trying to do. Matt Grzelcyk. Moving him out of conference so that the worst chance for him to bite us is in the Stanley Cup final. If we're ever in a chance to make the playoffs, for him to hurt us bad, it would have to be in the playoffs. So, now granted, there's no guarantees that we're gonna be able to find a trade for him inter-conference or out of conference, because there are teams like this that have a lot of young players that I'm not sure about. Or we could send them, hey, who knows? We could send them to Winnipeg and get Braden Yeager back. Still don't know if I agree with that trade yet. Alphonse Fry. It's not bad. Playing with Letang next year. Defense. What are we? I forget what's the defensive youth looking like. I mean, Pickering should be pretty decent. Bernicki's gonna be pretty good. Pio Joseph. The left's actually gonna look pretty solid. Okay, yeah, the left's looking pretty good. We kind of are. Or no, Bernicki's a righty. Never mind. Sorry. Whoops. Had a complete brain fart there. For some reason, Bernicki. I saw the slash lefty, and I thought he was a lefty. But regardless, Kolyachonok could be a decent fit there. So we could go Pio, Pickering, Kolyachonok, Erik Karlsson, Letang. I don't mind Timmins for the future. He's not going to be overly expensive, and he's going to be a solid two-way defenseman. Like, he's average everywhere for a defenseman. He is very average everywhere, which I can't complain about. Goaltending, you're going to find out real fast in this that goaltending is not a priority for me, because truthfully, I've had better success signing a young two-way fringe starter goaltender for long term for cheap than signing a big name starting goaltender. So that's where we're going to save the most money, not going after these big name goaltenders. Regardless, back to this trade. There's not many teams out of the West that want to give up something, and we can get a bunch for. There's nothing there that I'm overly interested in. Wise, what can we get here? A second. Kind of nice. Can we get 2 seconds for him? Second this year and a second next year. And then we throw in Banneker. Bad. Mind Banneker. salary. And beautiful part about this, I don't mind retaining half contract there. So 2 seconds and Banneker for Matt Grizzlick. Will not go. Also, another thing. Depth picks, to me, are considered 4th round to 7th round. So I cannot trade 3rd round picks, 2nd round picks, and I can trade 1st round picks. So 2nd and 3rd rounders are strapped to his team, unless if the team wants to acquire picks. But I can trade whatever 4th, 5th, and 6th, and 7th rounders I want. Even if it's from, hypothetically, 2030. But I'm not going to overly use the 20, 30, 29 picks. So, like, I'm going to try and stick towards the 3-year gap, like 25, 26, 27. Those are going to be the depth picks that we're going to try and keep with. But regardless, that didn't go through. I really want the 2 seconds because I feel like this team needs picks. So Matt Grizzlick and a 4 to 7th doesn't go. And one thing that I've noticed in this game, instead of moving this 7th up to a 4th, hypothetically, you get more value if you stack 7s. 2 7s is worth more than 1 4th. Weird enough. It's just a game mechanic. I don't know what the deal is. Like, look. So that said, just a touch, right? That right there, adding a 7th. Let's see what it says whenever we add a 4th. Now that is just flat out too far off. So all we need to do is take the 7th that we were going to trade and move it up to a 6. We're going to go Matt Grizzlick, 25, 7th round pick, which is 4 to 7th, and then we're going to trade our 25 6th, which is our 6th, for young top 9 center Caden Banneker. You know he's a 2-way forward. And he's got 73 face-off for sure. He's got 84 wrist shot power for sure. He's got 77 stick checking for sure. Other than that, don't know a ton about him. But the top 9 is what I'm looking at right now. Purely based off of. That gives us something to build off of. And it's accepted. Caden Banneker, 2 seconds for Matt Grizzlick. That is a great trade for us to start this. And sure, we can play Ryan Graves now. And because he is 26 years old, we're going to call up Matt Caldwell to be our 6th defenseman. We got to send Anchor down. Okay. Here we go. Then all we're going to do here is play Graves. Spot. On the minors, best lines. Banneker in the lineup for this. No, Banneker's not in the lineup right now. Tricky. Oh. Drafted. Okay. Got a decent little group here in the minors. Got a lot of young talent playing, getting minutes. The important part about it all. Young talent that's getting playing time. Here we go. Alright. So that was a big trade, getting rid of Matt Grizzlick. For 2 seconds. 2 seconds and a young player. Like, that is an unbelievable trade for us. Especially in a deep draft like this first draft is. That is a massive trade. So, we're going to look at this. Anybody else that we're interested in moving? Oh, there's a lot of players that we're interested in moving, but any players that, like Matt Nieto, that are taking minutes away from a young guy that could benefit, or that could benefit our future a lot more. And really like, again, we're gonna need to give a little bit here. Stack 2 2/7 together. 3/7 together in Matt Nieto. Got a couple down there next year. Now, tack on a 6th from next year as well. Matt Nieto, a 6th and 3/7 for 2 seconds. Does not go for, like, I'm not shocked by that. Take out the 7th, make it 2/4. Doesn't go. Take out the 4th, or take out 1/4. All that for a 2nd and a 4th this year. Just a bit low. Just tack down that 5th or that 4th to a Seattle 5th, and there we go. Matt Nieto is now gone. That is a really good trade for us. Not sure they would do it in real life, but again, like I said before, in a deep draft, those kind of trades are going to only help us in the future. We're going to be able to call up. You know what? We're going to be able to call up Pustin. He's a little bit on the old side, so I don't mind him playing either in the pros or in the minors. But he is part of the plan for the future. So maybe playing him with Crosby wouldn't be a bad idea. Yeah, it's not a bad idea. I don't mind it. Alright. So now we got a lot more players playing here. Banneker will not going to be in the lineup yet, which is kind of disappointing. But who is he going to play over is the problem. Got a lot of young talent in the minors. A lot of young talent that could go either way is the biggest thing. Alright, next course of action. I'm going to try go extend some of these players that we want to be part of the plan. So Pierre Oliver Joseph. Problem we're going to run into is that he doesn't have great organizational interest. So we're going to have to max out that contract bar as much as we can. Can he still be an RFA? Extend me here. You know what? We're going to wait on the extensions for now. Here we go. Max LaJoy. Top 6 defenseman, but he's 26 now. We're not interested in that. So I guess getting Matt Nieto kind of put him in an interesting spot. Alright. So, like I said, this first year, it's going to be a lot of just simming. But we'll slow sim this first game. First game of the season is going to be against the New York Rangers. 2-1, 3-1, and Junior Koppinen scoring a goal. How about that? Vasily or Vladislav Kolyachonov, good period from him. And third period, 4-3 win, Ricard Raquel. That's a good way to start off the season. A shocking way to start off the season, beating a good team. But hey, end all be all, we won the game. Okay, so we're 1-0. Start the season, and now we're going to start simulating this first month. It's a good start. 3-1, I don't mind it. 4-1, I really don't mind it. Connor Timmins goes down. Just let the coach do it and do his work. Okay. Why is Hunting? Oh, we had a couple guys get injured. Dang. Didn't even notice that. Oops. That's a glitch that I hate, that it jumps all the way to the end of the year, or it jumps up months ahead whenever you jump back into the simulation. Alright. This is a way better start than I was anticipating for the Gwens. This is a really good start. Let's see what's going on here. Yeah, Puustinen, I expected that being a part of it. Crosby, this line is going to be a huge piece to this rebuild. This duo, especially, Crosby and Raquel, is going to be a massive thing that we're going to try and push. Getting a lot of minutes. and a lot going the right direction. Okay, Pusanin goes down. Jeez, at the end of the first... Okay, in the last game of the first month, 9-1-1 Penguins going against the below 500 Anaheim Ducks. First period, 4-1 Ducks. Second period, 4-3. Third period, 6-5 loss. That is unfortunate. Just go figure. Jari couldn't keep the puck out of the net. But yeah, end of the day, 9-2-1 to start the year. It's a really good start. Jari's having a good season. Ed, season apparently. Genny Malkin leading the charge. 5-on-5, or 5-on-5. Our per game stats are really good. We're top half in both, offensively and defensively. It's our special teams that could be a little bit better. Granted, we didn't change any of those lines, so now that we're actually in a spot where I'm kind of interested, and yes, I am well aware that I can scheme fit, but I'm also just not more... I also wasn't expecting to be this good, so I just not worrying too much about it. What's Malkin doing power play wise? Nothing. Okay, so what I'm gonna do here is make a 1A, 1B power play. So what that means is we're going to take a Tang on here or Eric Carlson. Either have power play points. Okay, so purely based off of Crystal Tang having the power play points, he's gonna be on 1A. Carlson's gonna be on 1B. Rust, I'm gonna go be on 1A. Actually, Heinen gonna be a penalty killer for us, so Nick Lazat I really want on the power play, because he's gonna be another one of those I'm kind of banking on being decent. Sure. Huntington, okay, let's remember, Huntington is Pusanin. Huntington is Pusanin. Graves, I don't know how you're on the... I don't know how or why you're on the power play, but... Actually, Danton Heinen's going to be a power play guy for us. Okay. So this is the 1A power play. Distributor is obviously going to be Sid Crosby. Full scorer is going to be Ricard Raquel. I know he doesn't have a shooting X factor, but obviously I can't have Crosby be the distributor and the finisher. And then we're going to make Crystal Tang the puck carrier, because I always like the defense to bring up the play. Is what I've tended to learn, is what that affects. Timmins, I'm not... Makes sense why our power play wasn't doing good, because we had two defensemen that exactly weren't. Lighting the lamp, as some might call it. Sorry for the horrible pun, but I had to throw it in there at some point. Give Juna Koppinen a chance. And here, I don't normally do this, but because Malkin's gonna be the shooter here, I'm gonna have him be the finisher, and I don't normally have my defenseman be the passer on the unit. That's so weird that it's 15 points in 12 games and not a single power or special teams point. Regardless. Penalty kill. Let's see if we can get this a little bit better. Crosby. We're going to have Boku up here. Boku John D. Alma. Koppinen here. Crosby, we're going to take you out of the lineup. Chari. First one. Yeah, he was. Never mind. Oops. Not Noah Chari. Kevin Hayes. Second one. Third is going to be Lazat and Rust. I don't mind that. We need to get these two away from each other, so play Charnock, you're going to jump up to the top. Actually, I'd rather Letang be on the first unit. Second unit, don't mind that. Third unit, don't mind that. Extra line, it's not going to worry about it. Just going to be sure that the defense is there. Jari through 8 games. 5 and 3, 9, 10, and 286 is not bad at all. That is a stellar performance for a fringe starting goalie. 9.45 and a 1.75 and 4 and 0. Wow. Okay. Now that we checked that, let's go. Here, let me get out of this screen. We're gonna go to the minor leagues. Wilkes-Barre Scranton Penguins are 6-0 and 1 to start, which is exactly what we wanted to have happen. Connor Dewar is 8 points in 7 games. McGroarty, yeah, this is exactly what we needed out of Rutger McGroarty. That's going exactly to plan. Wish they would have bumped up Jack St. Ivany. His potential. He's a lot better than a 7th defenseman. I'm sorry, he is. How's the goaltending doing? Malmquist 9.83 and a .5 goals against through 4 games. Wow. Joel Blomqvist lighting it up down there. Okay. Okay. So, as a whole, the Pittsburgh Penguins organization is doing exactly what it needs to do. Okay. Going into the month of November to the November 30th. See how we're doing. See if that was just a fluke month. 8, 1-1, 2-1, 2-2, 2-3, 2-4. Okay. 4-4. 4-4-1. We're 6-1 throughout the month. 7-1. We're 8-1. Okay, so maybe that first month was a fluke month. And we're just gonna keep going because the wheels are starting to fall off, and this is expected. Let's be honest here. The only pieces that I'm really attached to is none other than Sir Sidney the Great. It's the only piece that I'm really attached to right now. The rest of the team is expendable, to say the least, in my eyes for the future of this squad. Alphonse Fry might be actually a piece that I think about going after. And I only say that just because we got offered that trade right there. And I'm only going to do this first season. This one. And that's including, like, I'm going to go through this season, and then I'm going to go through the off season, regardless of if we make playoffs or not. Like, this is going to be go through everything. Just more injuries. We're going to best lines the minors. We make that would be kind of massive if we make the playoffs. Purely based off of aging team, we succeed, beat the Flyers, okay. Now granted, can't get fired obviously because we turn off coaching firing or GM firing. Yeah, so far this is going way better than I was expecting this season to go. Sorry, the in-game music, it's catchy to me. I wouldn't say I'm exactly in love with the soundtrack, but some of the songs are catchy, I will admit. The season's starting to... We're starting to not nosedive, but we're gradually going down on a slope. But we're not out, but we're kind of going on a hot cold streak. We need to. This is gonna be a team that if we're not guaranteed in a playoff spot, or at least in the fight for a playoff spot, there's a high possibility we start really pushing for draft picks. Which we already got a ton. We got a ton beginning of the season. In just those 2 or 3 trades. I don't remember how many exactly I made. But regardless, we got very, very good pieces to this team. To this team's future. Juna Koppanen's actually not doing all that good. Pustinen's doing alright. Not exactly what I was expecting from him, but it's alright. That fourth line's doing alright. Third line. Okay, Danton Heinen's doing really well. Blake Lisott's doing exactly what I was hoping he was going to do. 35 points in 57 games is really good. Old Chari's not doing that great. But Joseph, Hare defensively could be doing better. This is exactly what I was hoping for. Just the defensive work from Ilya Chanok and the offensive work from Erik Karlsson going to work. I wasn't having much expectations on this line. Goaltending. Jari's doing exactly what I was expecting, but Ned is still keeping us afloat. How's Blomqvist now? He's coming back down to earth, but I mean, he's coming back down to earth compared to the 983 or whatever it was, but 928 is still outstanding. Dewar, 30 points in 43 games, good. I'll take that. Novak, was hoping for a little bit more out of Novak there. Tomasino's doing all right. Okay, that line's doing really good. I will take, especially since all 3 of them are actually going to be pieces that I'm going to look at. Koivunen is doing really well. Fortunately, we're not going to be able to sign bring Hollander back, but Vasily Pominarev is doing all right. I think I might push him to the wing instead of a center role. Same with McGroarty, right? Who's Tomasino to the wing. Novak's gonna stay center. Dewar, give me our 4th line center. And now that we got Roz, might move to the wing. And especially since we already have Banneker. Yeah, we might push some of these guys to the wing. Being McGroarty, Roz, Pominarev. Open up the center role a little bit for the future. 32, 5, and 7 for the Wilkes-Barre Scranton Penguins. Holy! What a start what a season for them so far. Just taking advantage of their chances. Okay. Who do we say? It was going to be Tomasino to the wing. See if we can talk to him about that. Position. Change position. Does not want to change positions. Which kind of is annoying. But it's alright. I mean, I don't mind it. Rutger McGroarty. Nice play. Position. Change position. Okay. Risky. Didn't get it. I've always had an issue making Rutger McGroarty a winger. Because he's a winger build, but he never wants to push to the wing for some reason. Silly Ponomarev. Push position. Change position. Okay. Risky. Didn't get it. That's the problem we're going to continue running into. Just players not wanting to jump into positions. Now, granted, not saying it's a necessity to do these, but for chemistry-wise, if you have the player in a position or in the position that they want to be in, it helps it a lot more. Banneker, we're gonna leave there. Okay. And we move. I mean, we're still not out of... I mean, we're at 3 points back, but 2 games... They have 2 games in hand is the problem. And that's the problem that that the Penguins seem to run into a lot. They never have games in hand. Washington would be a nice win. Got it. No, Nedeljkovic goes down. Oh no. That is the worst time for him to get injured too. Oh, he's back. Okay. Okay. So we... Do we want to be buyers? Especially if we get this one against Philly here, I might be pushing to get... Nope, didn't get a win there, but... we're still in a spot where it could go either way. We're looking for success no matter what, so... You know what? We might be buyers here. We might just go and buy somebody. We might be buyers at this deadline. Whoa. Glitching a little bit. Okay. Hollowell, replace there, goalies. Larson, be sure it's on him. Alex Nedeljkovic. Okay, and going into the deadline, we are, and I just like doing this just because this is what I always do. It's nothing, like, doesn't really affect it too much. That's what I always do. I always set this, the 40-20-40. Just reasoning, general advertising. I mean, obviously, you always want to have the most general advertising possible. Game ticket. I mean, these are the guys that just, they don't have tickets bought online. They just go up to the front gate. Obviously, as it says right above it, it says game ticket advertising will impact the amount of fans that will walk up to the stadium and buy tickets. So they go to the box office. Right? These are the box office ticket buyers. I don't think we should push for that. We should push for online buying. Is my opinion. Season ticket. This is where you make the most money, so you obviously want to push for that. Alright. We are 4 points back. The game, they have a game in hand of the second wild card. So if we're going to make the playoffs, gotta make a decision now. Who is available at this deadline? Who is on the market? Also, another thing, not that there's anything wrong with it. Me personally, I don't like going into the trade deadline screen. It just kind of clunky to me, and every time that I come out of it after making any moves, I have to reset all my lines. So I'd rather just make the deals the day prior and then go from there, so I don't have to jump into that screen. It's pretty, like, you get the same offers. There's not really anything different. Now, prove me wrong. I will gladly take criticism on that if there is a difference. But me personally, I don't really see a massive difference in trades that what's going on here? Puck's available. It's expensive, but not bad if we're looking to make a push here. Anderson, expensive, but that would be a decent idea. We did talk about Ungersorum last time, or earlier in the year, but I don't think he's he's not going to help the push for the playoffs. Nobody in Colorado. Dante Fabro. Upgrade on Connor Timmins. Ivan Provorov. On the last year's deal, that was the problem. Okay, so put him on the list. Ivan Provorov. It takes away from Columbus, more importantly, because they're a team we're fighting with. Dallas, they're not going to really want to give up anybody insane. Dumba might not be a bad idea. Nobody that's really jumping off the page for me. Again, nobody's really jumping off the page for me. Sam O'Reilly, it's a young talent. Florida, Lambos, 3 bars, so 2 bar elite, probably not elite. Christian. Nobody really there. Brady Shea. Oh, we can't get him. He's not one of the teams on the NMC or the trade calls. Mercer. Dalton Mercer. Or Dawson Mercer, not Dalton. Sorry. It's a goal scorer. It's on the list, okay. Tony D'Angelo. Isaiah George. I know he's a bit higher rated than the most, but we don't really need, again, we need a guy that's going to come in and make a difference now to push us over the edge for the playoffs. Donovan, that's a future guy. Gannett, future guy. For a future guy. San Jose, nobody. Seattle, nobody. St. Louis. Kemp out. We're looking for a defenseman. We're looking for a number one, not number one. We're looking for a left-handed defenseman to put on this defense. Is the ideal pickup. Max Domi for that contract, actually. We don't need Max Domi. Marcus Patterson. I mean, Marcus Patterson kind of is fitting the bill right now, but we did just get rid of him, so I can't really. At the end of the day, we found 2 players that I'm interested in going after. Number 1, Ivan Provorov. Like I said, the reasoning is it's not overly expensive. His re-sign will be overly expensive, but at the same time, the way that we're going to look at our off-season, we're going to have plenty of salary to make the move to re-sign him. So yeah, we're going to see what Columbus wants. They want some of our youth. The only players that we can trade to them are Koyachana, Kangas, and Emil Yarvente. Emil Yarvente. He's gonna take Koyachanak's spot anyways. You could just send Koyachanak to the minors. So they get a young player. Okay, so we get let me see here. They get a young stud, or future stud, in Emil Yarvente, 2/5 for an expiring contract Ivan Provorov. That is actually a decent little trade that we can make here. I think we're going to do it. Just a bit low. Okay. So what pick would we rather keep? I would rather keep the Chicago one. Just move it up to... move up to a better 5th? Okay, so just move it up to our 4th from this year. So Emilio Arvente, a 4th round pick, and a 5th round pick for Ivan Provorov. Has been accepted. We bolster the defense, and then who was the other one? The other one was Mercer, correct? Yeah, it was Mercer. Stealing from the from our close opponents. Want Ansons. Want Graham. They want Foster. They want Kangas. Just give them some youth. No, they can't take it. Keep Ansons with that knowledge, and then Mercer. Go 2 5ths. 2 5ths for Mercer. That was not intentional. Slicked it again. Let's go Chicago 5th, and we'll give them our 3rd since we're trying to push for the playoffs. That goes through. Yeah, there we go. Boom. Good trades here. Real good trades to bolster this team. Right wing means not Mark Johnstone. It's gonna be Huntington, and then Chari comes out of the lineup. Defense. We send Koichanak down without... No, we'll just send Hollow down. Hit Graves out of the lineup. There you go. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So we made 2 big moves. Get 2 good young players. A good young player. And a goal scorer that's going to help our future as well. And then a good, solid defenseman to play alongside. Graves comes out of the lineup. Koichanak goes there. Koichanak goes there. Okay. Okay. Okay, just need to reset that screen, I guess. Okay. Get Graves out of the lineup. And put Graves back in the lineup for right there, just because he's going to be our number 7 defenseman. Actually, let me swap these 2 around. P.O. Yeah. P.O. Provo. Boom. Okay. So we got the team better. Regardless. There we go. But that's what we're doing for the deadline. Or for our deadline moves. Kind of running out of time on this recording. But going into the trade deadline, Penguins are 31, 29, and 4. It's a great start. And yeah. It's going to be episode 1 of this Penguins rebuild. I'll be back with episode 2 soon.